All right, let's get going. Ooh, I do have to kick up a couple of things though. Let's see here. So that's not running yet. I didn't start the time clock. That's fine. I could always just hide that thing. Now that I know everything's working, I probably don't even need it anymore. In fact, let me do that real quick. Cool. Yeah, so I don't need that clock anymore. At least not now. All right, and then streaming messages. Cool. All right. Edit anyway. I don't know why it always does that. Readable pages. That's still the goal for today. Split OCR text by page. That's done. Cycle through test data. Kind of got that done. That's kind of working, I think. Fix my mic there a little bit. Actually, no, that is working. I got that both of those things done. Sweet. So now, what's next? Oh yeah, so we got a parse Hawker XML so that I can get back to readable text. In fact, let me do, say, we'll call this readable multiple pages is like the goal for today. Oh, let me update this too, because I haven't. So I'm on, I keep speaking in half words here. Where's my YouTube channel? So what is it? YouTube. There we go. Oops. Right. I hate how this is, was it shift insert? It's so annoying. Cool. And then Twitch. There we are. What, shift insert again? Right. Let's clean this up for a second. What's with that red character? That's weird. If I go back into it. Alright, that's fine. Cool. And then let's just do a little more cleanup here. Right, so let me actually grab my notes because I don't have them in front of me. Or though actually I kind of do. Let me see here. Right, so I don't need these notes then. I've got my dev notes. All right. Yeah, so let's parse Hawker and then I'm not going to do refactoring just yet. What we'll do is display two separate pages in app. Okay. That's that. And then I can turn this on. And now if I look on the stream, I think it needs a moment to refresh before. There we are. Cool. All right. So Hawker, what is Hawker? So I'm calling it Hawker. It's HOCR. I guess it's embedded in HTML. So it's HTML OCR. Okay, so I gotta parse this nonsense. So let's start by just getting some of the nonsense. So I should be able to just run this, and it should just work with the recorded close. Wait, it's not doing the autoplay? Did I turn off autoplay? Where is that? Yep, I turned it off. Let's turn it back on. So that is my recording. So that now I can do, if I do this, I'm not even gonna touch the keyboard and it's gonna do it for me. Yay, look at that, so cool. It makes testing so much easier. And we'll wait for the text to come in, and there we go. We got our HTML. So the one thing I realize now, I guess I'm gonna have to do some refactoring. I was gonna hold off on the refactor, but the problem is, so now I'm splitting it into two types of text, which means when where am I? Okay, yeah, this all works. I can get rid of these print statements. And in fact, I don't need any of this anymore. I think I actually got this down to 12 seconds. And then, yeah, I've got all this inversion control, so I don't need to worry about keeping it around. Let's just clean it up. Right, so I go and I get result. And the problem is, I was hoping that when we split it by 2 pages and got 2 pages of results, that it would cut the time in half, because right now it's taking 12 seconds. So I was hoping I'd get page 1 taking 6 seconds, page 2 taking another 6 seconds, which would have been really nice, but it doesn't do that. So I wonder if I can get an array of results here. Oh, and I don't have it printing anything anymore. Darn it. So I'm gonna have to rerun this anyway. All right, so I am gonna have to mess with the C++ logic. So maybe I would like to make this an array. So let's start by writing the interface first. And then I can then fix the logic so it works correctly. And I'm going to change this from book text to, we'll call it page 1 text, page 2 text. So now those are separate. Cannot assign a value string, yeah, to an array. Yeah, because this is right now returning it's returning a string. Now if I go to game state, we'll make that page 1 text. And page 2 text, but I'm going to make page 2 text just empty, because I'll keep this press button prompt here on the page for the moment, but I'm not going to really do much with it. And then book text, we'll just, And then I'll do a little to-do for myself. We will need 2 and only 2 pages active at once. Is that true? I mean, I could see a scenario where, I don't want to over-engineer this, but I could see a scenario where I keep track of the last, I don't know, 6 pages of what the person's reading. And so then if they wanted to flip back to the previous page, they could do, and it would be instantaneous to flip back, that it wouldn't trigger a reload or anything like that. That would be cool. So let's take a look at the game state then. Maybe instead of, okay. Let's go back to our interface then. What if we did page text 0 is text? Is text 0. And then we do page text 1. But actually, why is it? It's an insert mode. But actually, I really wouldn't want to do that. What I'd rather do is game state dot. Let's go back over to game state. Let's call page text an array, and it'll start with. In fact, I'll probably get rid of this. And do this in some other way, this placeholder. Yeah, in fact, let's do that. So if we go to book text, we'll do var text. We'll make that a string. And we're going to set that to... Come on, what's with the auto-completing? Okay. Cannot assign a value of a type string to variable text with specified... Okay, oh no, sorry. Self.text equals... Fine. That's right, because text is already exists. It's not a new variable I'm adding. Do some cleanup here. I already know what process is. And for now, I'm just going to do page text 0. But I'll have to figure out how to get the latest from it at some point. So if I go to game state, now game state is just page text, which is an empty array. It starts as an empty array. And then when we initialize everything, we've got our press button still. We're going to set the text to the first value from the array, which I'm now realizing could be empty. So I'm going to have to set a breakpoint or something and figure out how do I access that properly, safely. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this kind of changes the game now, because now I probably need to set up a signal. So instead of doing this on process, just change the text. Yeah, okay. So maybe then what I need is, I never liked this anyway, so every clock tick of the game engine, having it update text, that's ugly. It was fine for before, but so now instead, I wonder if I can create a signal. And I can probably look at some other scripts to see how do they wire up. I could just wire up a manual signal, just emit a signal from here. So what if I did func add I'll just call it add page text. Can rename it later. And this is going to be a string. How is this done again? Oh, right. You give it the name first. Text, which is of type string. It's not. Is it void? Right. For now, we'll just append text. Okay, so you shouldn't access that directly. And then if I go to book here, so now we're going to do game state dot add page text text 0, and then we will just do that twice. So we'll get our result, and then we'll just throw it into this add page text function, and it can decide what to do. All right, now save that. Again, for now, we'll keep this here. Well, yeah, let's see. How do I wire up a signal? So within book, oh, right, it's pickable.gd. So what does this script look like? Signal emitted when this object is picked up. Signal picked up. What is pickable? Let me do that. Godot manual signal. How do I manually set up a signal? Add child. Do the whole thing. So yeah, there's that approach, connect. Let's see. Connecting a signal via code. There we go. Click the script icon. We need to do two operations to connect the nodes via code. Get a reference to the timer from call connect. But that's because it already has a and then we add the function. Custom signals. Okay, this is probably what I want. Okay, so what if we do Should I put signals first? What do they do? They declare some things and then they put signals first. Okay, let me do signals first then. So I can just do signal page text updated. And then I can do page text updated dot emit. See, I think I'm going to like this because although I like wiring up signals from this node panel, it's kind of like spooky action at a distance. You don't really know what it's doing and you can't really see it. Whereas this, I can see this in code. I know I have a signal here and I know it's emitting. And if I want to wire up to the signal somewhere else, I can just search the code base for this name and find where it's emitted from and where it gets listened to from, which you can't do, I don't think, with the node version. Like, it just kind of magically happens, and I think maybe buried down inside the scene file, it maybe has it. It has it. I mean, not maybe. It has it in there, but so maybe that's good enough. Because the scene file is pretty readable. It's fine. I needed a manual signal anyway. So that's cool. So now we have that. And then if we did book text, now I should be able to do game state dot page text updated dot connect and now I should be able to do func darn fingers set for Mac computer instead of Windows, and that's going to return a void. I think I'm starting to get the hang of coding in GDScript. All right, and then we say, yeah, we'll just steal this. And now this is just going to be a pass. And let's turn it off. I think that all worked. I mean, I won't know until I run it, and I can't run it until... Here, you know what? I can test this right now, which I should, since I did a pretty big refactor there. Let's turn this off. Let's clear that, and let's run our simulator and see if anything broke before I dive into C++ code. Ugh! And then go from there. Oh, right. So I missed a whole spot of where we do things. See, this is state. Let me just delete this. I don't care about it. The long-term version of the app isn't going to have it anyway. I can just do a print statement, though. Let's just change it to a print. Now will it crash again? Still says press button because I just disabled that logic. It's thinking. Still thinking. Thinking forever. Guys, something didn't happen. We did, I think we did these 2 steps though. If I bring that back, what are the errors? Caller thread can't call this function in the node. Use call Use call deferred. Okay, is this that thing, like it said in the docs, it kind of made a mention of this. So it was saying, what did it do here? Custom signal. There's our signal. Now it's available. We can emit it. Signal can optionally declare 1 or more arguments. Cool. Emit. Okay, so that's the custom signal, but then connecting to it's the same. So in this case, it's saying get node. Okay. Let's try that. Var game state equals get node game state, and then we'll do var game state is a node. Is games going to have the same autocomplete? That's annoying. So I can't like access it that way. But maybe this will all work now. Null instance. Odd. So I can't connect the signal on ready. Like, wait, oh, there's game state. Interesting. So it is there, but it doesn't have any nodes. Let me think here. Well, so that doesn't work. Game state works here, but when I run it, it's gonna fail. Like, it'll get pretty far. And the results will come in, but the signal won't fire. And we'll have a debug error telling us using call deferred, but I don't, that feels wrong to me. Well, the error is in gamestate.gd. Add page text. Caller thread can't call this function in this node. Huh. Caller thread, it can't call this function. Line 10. What if we do call deferred? Is it like, I forget how this works. It's weird. What's it gonna do? Error calling deferred method. Method not found. Call deferred. Maybe it is page text updated dot emit dot call deferred. Maybe that's it. Is that gonna work? There we are. I don't know why it required me to do that. I don't love it, but it worked. All right. So we're good. Now. Okay, so that everything's back to working again, which is good. So now I need... This was a distraction. I was supposed to be working on Hawker. So do I work on Hawker or do I work on multi-page text? Decisions. Decide now, Ed. What are you doing? You know what? I feel like doing some C++. So let's do the multi. So now if I do code dot, let's dive into some, I should just type code. Oh, well, fine. Code dot. There we are. Now, how do I get it to, so get result. So I didn't want to refactor this, but I should rip out and undo some of the changes I made. So let's see here. What if we do text 1 and text 2? We'll get text 2, or no, text 1 there. And now we do the storing the results safely. I don't need to do this anymore. Emitting the signal twice, I don't need to do. This delete twice, I also don't need to do. So in theory, now I've mostly gone back to what I had before. Result text. Let me just split those out into two. And then, how do I do an array of strings in C++ again? C++ array of strings. Okay, so it might be something like, oh, but that's a Godot. Ooh, interesting. Oh, I might be able to just, it's a Godot. I'm not doing a C++ thing, I'm just doing a Godot thing. Hit insert again. Control C. So now I'm just returning an array, a Godot array. Is it result text? But I only declared oh, okay. Got it. It's always tough switching brains between languages. So that's fine. I'm just going to store them as two Godot strings here. And then this returns a Godot array. So that should be fine. Delete text 1. And let's delete text 2. Let's clean them both up. And this is going to return an array. And I'll return an empty array. This is probably wrong. result result text is there as a member variable. That should work. Where's my builder? Let's just build the thing and see what error it gives me that way. I mean, it's gonna fail. Usually, if this was a bad error, it would have cleaned itself up by now. Vector string array. Yeah, well, there's my good errors. Godot array C++. But this is going to be GD script. Is there going to be anything else? No. Is this gonna have, what's it gonna have? Show me something good. Returning an array if we can. Okay, maybe that's it. Let me try this route. So I could go with contents. Yeah, contents. Where's contents? That's a Godot array. Whoa, not what I wanted. So search GitHub real quick. I might have a quick answer. Godot : array. Path is star.cpp. Here we are. OpenXR config, right? Yeah. I was like, I figured I would probably find some Godot doc examples. So this is a Godot array. Returns a Godot array. Get available refresh rates. Is there any others? Probably lower, right? Okay, so this declares an array and then returns the array. So in theory, I can just do that. And then let's do R. Can I just do R0? I guess in either case it doesn't matter. I can maybe just do that. Let's do R1. And it still doesn't like something. Oh, it just removed a line. Is that going to be happy now? Again, I do think I do need do a bit more refactoring here, but hey, that all worked. Easier than I thought it would be. C++ has gotten a lot better in the last 15 years since I've dabbled. Oops, this is now an array. Very nice. Oh, well, it's locked, sure. Now if I just get 0 from here. Now if I run it. Oops. Well, let's just comment that out. Let's see if we get it working. Throwing an error. Cannot assign text. Really? Where did it just crash? Let's try that again, this time with a breakpoint. Crashing again. Can I just tell Meta to always close without sending? I'm not going to send you a report. Why would I send you a report? It's my fault. It's my code. So we've got our breakpoint. how do I interact with this? Does it have a REPL? Godot breakpoint REPL. That's sure. Yeah, you can set a breakpoint. The value can, yeah, but okay. Frame stack, locals, output, fail to end frame. Oh, well, this is. I don't know what that is. Okay. So I can click on that. I got self, I have OCR. So I can inspect things. Is there a way to send it a command? Got those errors. I've been getting these. These are nothing new. Profiling. Oh, cool. There's a built-in profile. Ooh, maybe I can use that to help me figure out how long it's taking in Tesseract in more detail. Monitor. Network profile. So I can set a breakpoint, but what good does that do me other than like seeing the state of variables? Can I do print OCR.get result? If I do that, it crashes. It crashes with no explanation as to why. I can do, well, I do have GD log of, getting Hawker result. Oh. Maybe it's failing on getting the second one, but that worked before. Can't see a reason why that would fail. DLL. Let's run it. It's getting a Hawker result, and it just freezes. Okay. So it goes to get the second result, and that's when it crashes. Okay. Curious. Actually, let's go look at so why is this just failing? What is the result in mutex anyway? What did I have here before? What did I change? Get diff source OCR. So previously I did the whole process twice. See, the whole locking thing, I don't fully understand what I did there. Like, I understand that it works, but maybe there is like some sort of race condition there. So what did I actually have? We bring that over here. And let me fix this again. I won't emit the signal yet. So if I just do, let's just give it a shot. If I do that, so then we call it once, we store it. Let's not trigger that just yet. Oh, has result. We initialize that to false. Okay. We always set it to false. Yeah, I don't know why that would be there. Let's do... Let's put it there, because I know this is the moment where it takes time. So once this finishes, yeah, I may want to toggle this back on for debugging purposes. Once this finishes, we immediately set result true and log something. And then I can skip those two. So then I can then call the second call, store that, and then trigger our signal. Well, set up our signal and then tear down. Let's try building that. Now let's see what happens when I run it. Am I the first chatter? Today you are. Actually, on YouTube, I think you are entirely. I think I've only had chatter on Twitch. Why does this keep failing? Why does it keep crashing? It doesn't even tell me why. Okay, what if let's go back to basics, or let's Sherlock Holmes it. Eliminate the impossible, and whatever remains, however improbable, must be true. So let me comment out all this. And it's got an error. Oh yeah, well, that's fine. So now we're basically doing what we did before. We get the first text. We set our things, we lock things up, we emit our signal, and then when get result is called, we set these values. I wonder if I can log. I could actually. Not wonder. I know I can log from there, so that'll be my next stop if this fails as well. It's just to see like what's the state of things. I'm assuming maybe for whatever reason when it calls to go twice it fails. Is that maybe because there's not a page 2, but there should be a page 2? And then I guess, what is it processing? Is it gonna pass? Crashes again. Interesting. So whatever's happening, well, I already know get Hawker result. It's failing on get Hawker result. What am I calling it for? Let's see here. Let me add a print statement here. Processing, and we'll do image index. And if I'm doing getting Hawker result, I mean, I'm never getting to the stored result. Really? All right, I may have to roll back. Let me build that again. I don't think I changed anything, but let me just run it again. I may have to like roll back my code changes. Like, it was working before. Why is it now not working? Oh, I probably finished, right? Yeah, I think it's nothing changed, so. Touching the button. Getting Hawker result. Oh, it does call storing result. So then it crashes. So maybe I can, my Vim mode is on. Let's do GD log. Text 1. Let's log it. It might fail there, may not be happy about that. Actually, let me build this twice. Done logging result. Let me build that again. So if that succeeds, then I'll know, okay, well, at least if the problem is not Tesseract then. The problem is something else in my C++ code. Maybe in how I'm locking the thread or something. Huh. So a minute ago, it succeeded at writing this. Now it failed. I wonder, let me just restart Godot on the off chance that maybe something's in a bad state. I don't think that'd be true, but you never know. Whoa. Oh, okay. Just scrolled over. Like, what? That's not good. That's the opposite of good. All right, what if I, oh, by the way, yeah, what am I getting? Yeah, so it's just doing the HP. All right, let's roll back some changes, shall we? Let's go back to that. Let's comment that out. So now we're just back to regular UTF-8 text, which would be everything. There wouldn't be two parts to it. I don't think there's anything related to this, but let's pull this down here again. Kind of undoing changes. I know I am not initializing You know what, that could be the issue. I have a theory. I'll bet you this is still broken. Which then definitely means it's not Hawker then. It's not Tesseract. Yeah, crashes again. Okay. I'll bet you. Okay, so now since I know where the issue kind of is, if I comment this out, I'll bet you that works, but it's crashing before then though. Okay, well, let's also comment this out. Maybe there's something about like sending the text back that it doesn't like. I mean, effectively, let's like slowly roll ourselves back to like what's working in the committed code. Cool. Run it. Still failing. All right, well, now we're on to more serious measures. Let's take this more seriously. So, git diff source. Let's roll back to everything we did before. And in fact, I'll even bring up this code. Yeah, so before we were doing set image and then get UTF-8 text. And then we're calling store result where we do the mutex lock. Result text is a Godot string. I've now just kind of renamed that to result text 1. In fact, nah, that's fine. Let's change this back to a Godot string. And we will return empty, or we'll return result text 1. And then this has to then change to a string. That's all happy. Let's just see if that's it. Maybe it's because I thought the array worked, but maybe it didn't. Maybe it just failed in a different, more interesting way. And then, oh, get result here. Well, now we're just printing the result. So I don't need to necessarily care. Build succeeded. Let's run. I do know Godot gets a little bit annoying about setting things to variables, like just calling functions directly without, I don't think, yeah, see, I wonder if there is like a var text string equals OCR get result. I wouldn't be surprised if I just can't do that. And now I can do print text. Oh, it says it's an array. It's not an array. It is no longer an array. Get results a string. Get results a string. And I know Godot has like a delayed memory problem sometimes, where it'll figure it out in a minute that it's a string. The editor doesn't know that it's a string now instead of an array, but it is. And it'll just take a minute for it to figure that out. Okay, let's kill that. Bring it back. Godot, you're not getting confused, are you? This is going to turn out to be just like an editor issue. Love you, Godot. Yeah, now it seems anecdotally happy. Oh, wait, that's not going to work. I got to run the simulator. Let's see. Whoa, why is this so broken? It really doesn't like something. I gotta do even more drastic measures now. Okay, well, how about... result text is now like OCR.h. What's our difference there? Okay, I'm back to just result text. Yeah. And now let's just get rid of this array. Maybe it's possible like array is a new C++ 17 thing that I just didn't have access to before. And yeah, let's just salt the earth of it. So what are we back to now? Get UT8F, UT8F, UTF-8, and then I'm just going to compare it to this because this is what's on main. So set image, get UTF-8, lock has result, result text, and then ooh, okay, that's not nothing. That's not nothing at all. Let's just, again, assume everything. Assume nothing. Cool. So has result. Then we destroy the image, delete the text, process false, and then we trigger our callable, and then we finish. Now, maybe please work. If this doesn't work, then I'm definitely missing something very interesting. I got like a parking brake on somewhere. Let's run it. Come on, 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 come on. I mean, this totally, yeah, now we're back to working. Works again. Don't tell me it was that order. Okay, now that things are working again, let's start reapplying the layers. Actually, so fine. Let's get rid of that print statement. We are printing this, that's working. Let's just cheat and take this and just roll back to this version of things. I'll print some data. Let's go Hawker it up. Hawker. And I know, because I knew it worked before with the 2 pages. I think it says cleanup. I think the cleanup had to happen before the signal. Yeah, maybe then... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was causing a race condition then where we would trigger the signal and it would try calling the method while this was still cleaning things up. Maybe processing was set to true. And when processing is set to true... But processing set true... Oh, I'm gonna have to look up what this does again. This might be like toggling a lock on and then toggling that lock off. And because the lock is in place, when it calls get result, it just crashes. And maybe there was just a race condition because it was still doing the destroy. I'll have to look that up. But now we should be... We actually should see something back in the app again. And it should be back to HTML junk being displayed. Yeah. Oh, well, no, it's not that. It's not that because I didn't build anything. Okay. Let me build and kill that. There we are. Right. So now I think I can be off to the races again. Now let's start bringing things back. So, I was like, it just didn't seem right. Like it just was like, why? Like everything was working. What broke? I think I understand now. So, let's do our array again. We can return our and for now, let's just baby steps, right? Let's do our Godot array, and then let's just return just the 1 page. Let's not even try calling the 2nd page. Let's just get the array working. And then we can do page 2. Okay, that's building. And then over here, this is now an array. Well, let's comment these out. Okay, result text. Why are you not complaining? What line was that on? 88. Huh? Oh, I didn't save the file. Duh. Alright. Feeling good about this now. Took longer than I thought it would, but what else is new? But I'm out of coffee, but I got water. Why is building taking so long? Come on, come on, come on, you're almost there. All right. Run it. And it fails again. Now, Godot, do you know that it is in fact an array and it's not just you? So if I run you now, it's probably going to fail the same way. Yeah. So there's something up with the array. Now what did I have over here? Didn't I find... Yeah, so this declared an array. And then what's the array? Push back out. R. If for whatever and whatever. R dot pushback. Maybe that's the thing. Yeah, I don't. This isn't gonna work the way. Maybe that's the issue. It is saying though. It is just struggling with all of it. But it should be able to just push it on there and then return it. And the array should just be an array. But again, like, is this array thing a newer C++ thing that I don't have access to? And I'm not getting good logs, and things are breaking early. But it's not breaking on get result, because I'm not getting this log statement. And I never got to storing result. But maybe it's just like crashing so fast that it can't return the log statement before it crashes, so it's still hitting the log statement. Yeah. I got distracted there for a second. Somebody posting some nonsense. But I think I already built. I don't think I need to build again, but I'll do it. Yeah, okay. Let's try it. So there is something up with this array. Okay, that worked. So what did I do? Was it this push? No, I got distracted for a second there. Now I don't even know what I did. So everything's working now. Arrays work. So what about What if I just do 2? Just shove 2 on there. Why not? I mean, it exists. It exists. It might just be empty. And actually, this will be a good test of like what the hell happens if like there isn't a second page to process. So if there's not a second page to process, like what's it gonna do? Is it gonna choke? Is it gonna... So first, let me just run this and make sure we still get the same result we got a second ago. And I may even then do a commit just to back up my state of where things are working. Okay, so now what if I just do a, that's fine. Let me just do a print of text 0. Well, actually, let's do a dot left. Let's do 400. And I can do a print of text dot. It's got a length property or something on it, right? Size. And let's do that one. Let's just be a little more organized, just so I can make everything quite readable. I love that I was able to record the VR actions, so I don't have to do it every single time, and I can just sit back for a moment and let it do its thing. Okay. So the logs are of size 2. We did the first text, and then we did nothing. So what if I do again, baby steps, just because I'm paranoid about this not working. That finished, and run it. Foo. With an extra dash dash. Huh? Oops, did I... Oops. Typo. That's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted at all. Now we got foo foo. Now let's run this. There we go. 2. This and foo. Sweet. So it's all going to work now. It's all going to work. Which means now I should be able to do... Again, let's just keep it simple. We'll do text 1, do text 2, text 1, text 2, text 1, text 2. And we've got 1 and why does it do that? I don't want your autocomplete. There. Now this should work enough where I can switch off of C++ for a bit and go back to just Godot, which I'll be able to move a lot faster in. And again, I need to do a refactor, but this is good enough. So now if I run this, let's drag that out. If I kill that, there we go. Page 1, page 2. Yes, okay. So annoying. So that means then this goes away. I can add those both to there. I can do this log statement. That's all nice and tidy and clean. I'm gonna rip all this out and just clean things up a bit. Again, I'll keep this here for debugging purposes. That's all nice and clean. Let's clear those out. I do like that this is, I thought the array was going to be a bit more annoying than it is, but that's nice. Save that. Let's build again. But either way, I'm probably going to do a checkpoint here to save off what I got. Oh, that's why. If I do a git add dot, it's going to add it again. Vim dot git ignore. Hold on. While that's doing its thing, this can do its thing. Oh no, it's going to put it over here. Well, that's fine. I can at least monitor it while it's going. Project specific, and I'm going to do /bin/ window squiggle star. Let's just be super specific about it. And there, it's gone. What if I do star / libstar? Nope, that didn't work. Squiggle lib star. Then Windows. What if I do Perfect. Actually, that's pretty good, because in bin, there'll be Windows, there'll be Android, there'll be OS X, there'll be other engines that I'm using, and then this squiggle will almost always be a lib there. But I could probably just simplify it that way. It should always be a lib, but great. Git add dot. Let's just triple check. Git commit -m. I may have to like remove that XR simulator replay, because that's going to change every single time I touch it. So I may want to just nuke that. But we now have returning array of pages from OCR. And then let's push that up. Multi-column text. Cool. Now I got a backup of what I've been doing. And it still works, right? So I can kill that. I can scroll up here, and now we've got... there's one little tweak I'd probably make. Page 1, and we'll do this as page 2. Again, just some debug logging for myself to make life easier. But I can see here that this is page 1, this is page 2. And it's not a lot of text, but that's fine. Now what I got to do is go process it. So probably what I'll do is, before adding a page to the game state, well, who knows, actually, because this raw let's clean things up. If we go to game state here, now we can go back to just text. So that's simpler. This logic doesn't need to be more complicated than it needs to be, because all it's doing is getting the result and sending it up. This will log twice. And then I could do that change here. But see here, now we're doing the raw data could be valuable, because I may have to display it in different ways. So who gets to control the display logic? Who's that gonna be? My thought would be it's probably here. Yes. This to do, I can clear out. So you're gonna get your text. Let's go take a look at Godot. And let's see here. Well, breakpoints, I'll have to do some more research on later. I'm gonna keep this up for the moment. Good C++ stuff, but no, let's close it. I can always find it again. Code search, always good. So and again, the longer I do this, the less I'm gonna have to do in C++ for the most part. Like especially that interface. Once I've got that interface nailed, which I've almost got it there, I shouldn't really have to do much there. I'll be making engine tweaks to Tesseract, and I'll be doing things like that, but I'm not going to be changing the interface of how we're calling down into C++. That interface should be pretty static once I've, at this point actually, might not change much anymore. So returning the raw Hawker, I mean, it could be more performant to clean that up in C++, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that I need it. So create a custom array, more array stuff. This was, what was this? Signals, figured that all out. This is what I wanted. So I wanted to look at XML parsing in Godot. Let's see here. So this is built in, provides a low-level interface for parsing XML files. So this is a file. Here's an example of an XML parser to parse an SVG. All right, let's try it. So let's assume we're going to do it here. Self.text equals bleh. And then we're going to do our XML text is of type string. And then we're going to do our parser, and then parser.open our text, XML text. There's no static typing. What is part? Yeah, this is the problem with the typing. Where does this thing live? I mean, everything's more performant with the typing, but provides a low-level open buffer. Annoying. Let me just go to GitHub again. Somebody's done it. It's the lovely thing about GitHub. Path is star.gd. Yeah, so it's going to be, I'm looking for a, yeah, GD script where someone's used XML parser. Colon equals, but now I need to see. Anybody use static typing? Okay, so they're saying it's just an XML parser. That kind of makes sense. I could have tried that. And then parser.open. Let's just do that. So we already have our parser. We've already opened it. Let's tab everything over. Whoa. Not what I wanted. Okay, while parser.read is not end of file, get node type, node element, get the name, string, dictionary, index should be an integer. Okay. And then we're going to print. And our text is going to get set to bleh. All right, let's run this. See if it works. Clicking, and then we'll wait. And what's it going to log when it goes to set the text? Bleh got set. And what do we got here? Nothing. So one thing I can look at is what are other people doing? Open buffer. This is chances are what I want. XML is packet byte array. let's see here. So that's reading a file. I mean, I could just try open buffer. Yeah, 2 UTF. Oh, text is string. Okay, no, this is probably what I want. Now let's run it. And I'm going to stop in a few minutes. Go get lunch. And let's wait for it. There we are. Kill it. Look at that. Ton of stuff. And you know what, this is a nice little example they give here because I can use that for debugging. So this is good starting code. I could drop that into a function that I just never call. So I can do like a func debug XML element. And then it could be while parse.read if node name sorry, hold on. Oh, so we can just have yeah, we can just call it parser. And that can be XML parser. We can just pass the parser in, probably. And now all this can get pulled up. And the beauty about something like this what can I do? Like what is it? Shift tab. Can I select all and do a shift tab? Nice. Okay, that works. Oh, but that needs no. I need to tab in the other direction. And now I can call this guy pass in parser. So that means this function's smaller. And then this whole like debug function, I might not need it. I might need pieces of it. I might pull pieces out of it and keep it permanently. But the whole like logging all this nonsense, this might only be useful when I'm in like a sub element of the tree. And so then as I start peeling away the onion, I should be able to just then call this for that element and just, I'll clean up this log too. I'll make this better to just say like, hey, what is it? What's its type? This is saying like the node name, the P element has the following attributes. I'd probably want to display something cleaner with like P and then an indentation, something that I can just quickly see what are the objects. And then that way I can traverse down. If something in this logic is behaving a little bit weird, I can just call this debug statement just for that one spot. And yeah, and then just debug it whenever I need to. But that's great. So now I just have to go mess with HTML for a bit, which will take a little bit of time. Where did I end up with on the process for the moment? Or my outcomes for the day. So let's do a cat on streaming messages. Parse Hawker XML, didn't really get to that. Display 2 separate pages, didn't really get to that either. Was mostly, I mean, at least I got to returning 2 separate pages of results from the GD extension C++ code that's calling the OCR library. I at least got that returning an array of pages. And I do have an array of pages in the code. And then I at least got to the point where I've started parsing. So I got started on both of those. Not too shabby. But yeah, just got to continue on from here. And so I think with that, I'm going to stop for the moment. I might stream later today, but who knows? I've got other things I need to do as well. But if nothing else, I'll maybe try to stream later this week. And with that, have a good day.